Hello everyone. I'm going to be taking a bit of a break from working on the upper yard. I've been doing a lot of work there recently. The next thing that needs to happen, of course, is to put all the switch machines in, but I want to take some time to do some scenery work again. I've got two areas that I'm going to be working on. The first over here, the hill that my son and I had built together a while ago. I've got some work that needs to be done on that. And the other is over by the coal mine, which is working on the ridge line that's to the side that also helps to hide the hole going through the view block to the other side of that wall. So those are the two sections that I want to work on today. Please come and join me. Let's see how everything turns out. Well, it's time to get back to some scenery work. So I'm over in this corner that's along the logging line here, and I've got the hill that my son and I built a few years back. Just a quick review, I have gone ahead and glued it down into place and started some Sculptamold work at the base and playing around with where some rocks will be in the front. However, if I come in close, now this is stuff that you'll never see, but you can see how there's a lot of broken open areas that I just missed with the Sculptamold. So I'm going to be going through and getting that filled in. Again, another area that you're not going to see, but I want to seal up, is between the foam and the wall, because as I add scenery material, I don't want that scenery material to fall down in there and drop down onto the lower level of the layout. And then finally, in this small area behind the engine house, I have the space here between two sheets of foam that I want to fill in and start prepping this whole area to potentially be a bit of a parking lot for the workers at the upper train yard, and also going to end up having some trees in here just to continue to help with the view block coming onto this side of the view block from the front area of the layout. So a little bit of Sculptamold work to do. I definitely want to get this then painted in to get rid of the stark white, and that'll be one of the next things that I need to do. Well, filling in this area certainly did not take very long. Filled in the seam here, backfilled along the edge of the wall, did a little bit of contouring up to the cork, and then filled in this area along here behind the track. Now again, I said this is not stuff that you're really going to be able to see from eye level. However, it will allow for getting scenery work done a lot easier. Out here in front, I did actually continue to work on some of the contouring in front of the track. And then along the main line here, I found that there was a couple spots that I could fill in and adjust the contours a little bit there. So it's time to let all that dry. On to another area. Up on the hill in this corner, I do have the Sculptamold that I filled in painted with the earth color, and that goes all the way over to this area behind the engine shed. So that's now all taken care of. Now you will notice that the hill does still have some of the Sculptamold on the left side not painted in. I still have some more work to do. I want to change the angle of that embankment a little bit so it's not quite as severe, and I just need to finish off this left corner of the hill as it comes down in. And then I can really start to focus on getting the rocks plastered into place and getting everything painted and colored and start to work on finalizing the shape of the hill, and of course then getting dirt and trees planted onto the hill. You will, of course, remember this corner, having this been a few episodes that I worked on a few weeks back, a couple months back actually, really. As I continue down along the main line here, you can see that the wall painting backdrop area has stopped. And as I continue down the main line, I come to a small siding. This is where an industry is going to need to be located. It's going to be a flat of some kind against the wall, and I still need to figure out how I want to represent a town back in this area. Clearly, nothing major, but I do want to have a small bit of town in this area. And then continuing along, down below here is, of course, the track area that is going to go into the coal mine area. But coming back up onto the main line, I then have a long passing siding that actually does pass through behind this ridge and through the wall over to the other side. So in order to hide this, because as you're operating the layout, going to be in this area here and along into this area over here. So to hide all of this area, up across the ridge here, I want to add a line of trees. But in the background here, I want to go ahead and paint the background trees like I've done in other areas of the layout. Because of this pass-through that's here, I will also have to paint some trees down here as well, because otherwise there'll be trees up high and then all of a sudden a line of sky, which isn't going to work. So I've also got to blend that in on the other side of the wall as well. So that's another section that needs to be worked on. So I want to definitely start working on getting some more background tree painting done, basically from about here, pretty much where the ground cover paint stops, on over past this ridge, probably at least into here, so that that's then taken care of, and I can go ahead and start working on building up the trees that are going to go here. If I back out, on the upper level, there's going to be the fascia coming across here. So that's going to be cutting off the view, and really all that you should end up seeing is that ridge of trees. This is the back side of that opening that I just showed you. And apart from all the spider webs that have built up in here that I need to clean out, you can see where I'm going to need to continue to add some of the tree material, tree painting on there as well. This backdrop also goes down into a bit of a corner. So I've been toying with some ideas of how I can actually blend those two together so that I don't have that dark shadow down in there. And it's maybe just possible that just putting in all the tree painting will fill that in. I don't know. I need to play around with that, and that's something for future. So now that I have a POV freight car to be able to run around the track, I do actually need to consider this particular viewpoint. The backside of this hill is now visible because of being able to run a POV car through here. If it was just going to be seen from the front, I could just ignore all of this area and just leave it alone. But running a POV car through here, I need to do a little bit of work. I don't know if there's anything I can do about the fact that there's going to be tree backdrop painting here, and there'll be tree backdrop painting along here. And then you're going underneath it. That is unfortunately some of the limitations and compromises that we do have with model railroading. First things first, went ahead and packed in the gap that was back here with some packing paper. The next thing to do is to lay down a fresh layer of plaster cloth to fill all that in and seal it up. I was quite fortunate and I had a partial bag of plaster cloth still that was opened, so I didn't have to open a brand new bag. Now I've got the back side of this hill covered. Little bit of Sculptamold at the bottom just to fill things in, smooth it out. I'm not going to put a lot of detail in here because, again, the only time it's going to be seen would be during a POV run. The area has been filled in with the Sculptamold. I've put a couple of rocks in as well. But I'm not going to spend a lot of time super detailing this back area here. I'm just going to get in some dirt, get in some grass. I've got the little rock cut here, and for the most part that's going to be it. Obviously I still need to ballast. I have also gone ahead and done the background tree painting on the backdrop. So once all that has a chance to dry, I can then come in and get the plaster cloth painted. So that's then ready for scenicking on the backside and getting the ballast in place and whatever other details I want in this area that really is only going to get seen if you really look back here or if I'm running the POV car. The basic ground paint is painted onto the backside of this hill. These couple of outcropped rocks that I added on, I'll paint those individually. It's of course pretty difficult painting in this back area like this, but overall that's coming out okay. I know the Woodland Scenics ground paint looks very green here on the screen, but it does dry to a very sort of dull brown kind of color, and that's going to all get covered over anyway with dirt and then foliage and other ground cover. So for the ballast, I've been using a variety of different colors. For the main line, I've mainly been using the Scenic Express blended ballast. This has been across the entire mainline area. In other areas, I've used some of the Woodland Scenics products in a couple of different colors. But going through this section, since this is mainline, this is what I'm going to be using. So this area is now fully sceniced in. I'm not going to do really any much more than what I've already done, with the exception, of course, the trees up on the ridge line. I'm going to hold on those for a while because I've got plenty to do over in the quarry area. So that's going to come in future. So for now, this area is done, and it's going to be time to start working on some new stuff. Thanks for joining me. I hope that you enjoyed seeing those two areas that are being scenicked. I hope that everything works out really nice whenever I'm doing any kind of POV running with that freight car going through the backdrop wall. Yeah, it's going to be a little awkward, but as I said, you know, that's some of the compromises we unfortunately have to make with our model railroads. Other than that, thank you very much for joining me, and we'll see you next time. Stay tuned for just a moment. I do have a quick preview as to what's coming up next month. Thank you very much. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. So I'm going to turn my attention to a new area, and that is on the upper level, and that's this back corner. And this all leads down to the helix area. And as you can see in the middle of the helix, the blue foam with some of the super trees laying on it and that church. I do actually want to use this area for some further rail interest. I want to get an industry in here. I want to work the church in somehow. But the first thing I've got to do is to be able to extend this line from this turnout here.